today's episode, we will be going over some of the best highlights from the matchup between T1 and G2 during the knockout stage of the 2024 MSI. Without further ado, let's dive straight into the action.
Map as T1 maybe looking to step in here. G2 trying to overload if Carrier does overstep. Mickey looking for Faker, who steps around the wall, and Mickey's there for the knockback. Faker locked up first, there's nowhere for him to go. G2 first blood! What was Faker? I didn't help Yike take the grubs. Looks like Ono won't get any of those first course of Grubberinos.
And so far in this early game, things looking up for G2. When you kind of look at it holistically, Zeus still doing very well considering the amount of pressure that's been thrown towards him on the top side of the map.
Caps going in, knocked back. We've seen Caps do this before he flashes. Not quite enough damage, but one more Ono is enough for Caps to get G2's second kill.
Faker walk back in the LEC, starts the series off with a solo kill.
Here. Bell goes in with the last breath, the looting lullaby as well, double sleep, Yike knocked back, watch out, Eep indeed for T1, and a gorgeous flash from Brokenblade, the Keyblade follow-up, G2 are 4-0 up, and the going to give up pressure around this dragon. They were getting pushed in the bot lane because Mickey roamed towards mid.
Look at Caps right now, you've always got to keep your eyes on this man in the mid lane. He knows that Faker has moved down towards the bot side, Zeus aware.
Instead, it's going to be the dragon, and the roam will get punished.
Oh, Ono might just look to get Caps here. Wind becomes lightning hits. Caps going to jump away. Ono can go for the chase. There's the Destiny as well, and Caps in his jungle tries to jump away again. Flash from Zeus. T1 on the board.
Nice collapse from
Broken Blade stepping away here. Tries to put the damage down onto Zeus, who locks in the gold card. Yeah, Broken Blade, you don't win this 2v1. Zeus steps in, there's the gold card, Baker shuffles forward, and Broken Blade should fall. He goes in with the last breath, but the shutdown to Faker is enough. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, lifting lullaby on Ona, forces him away. Another plate for G2 as Carrier looks for the stun. Knocked back, TP behind by Faker, still no Shurima shuffle for him. He does have the flash though, and Mickey doesn't have much of a health bar left as T1 continue to collapse. Carrier has the flash. Headbutt pulverize, goes in onto Caps, Destiny behind, and now Caps needs to get the hell out of there, but T1 are trying to send him to the depths. Faker chasing in, Faker finds another, and from what was a great game state for G2. Investing on the top side, Gumiyushi's moved up here, so this will be their Rift Herald. Hansama's going to be able to take a plate in the bottom tower in the bottom lane with those 6 grubs, obviously a lot quicker in terms of taking turrets, and it looks like T1 might just be sacrificing the second dragon of the game to make sure that they can get control over this Rift Herald.
Herald, though, going to be valuable when it comes to sieging. Things like Tristana and Azir both have incredible wave clear, and that Herald is so important for being able to unlock that mid tower. Ona doing a good job of counter jungling as well, stealing away what camps he can. And ultimately the map has been...
He's behind. Really, at this point, you can almost buy Shirelles, just run at people.
Zeus.
He's
going to die.
Yeah, Lilia's there.
Yikes on his way. There's no way for Zeus to get out of this one. Has exhaust, has splash. Shouldn't burn either of them. As soon as he sees Yike arriving, watch out. Eep as Zeus falls in the bottom lane. Meanwhile, on the top side, T1 take a turret.
Now, Chronicler...
Pressure this mid lane turret. All 5 members around here. Caps recalling in a side lane. This turret has been given up by G2. Well claimed by T1.
I think they can escort the Herald in for another siege. Broken Blade has made his way mid. Caps doesn't want to overstay bot. He recognizes the potential collapse, and they'll get it. T1 getting decent value out of this Herald. That'll be the first. That's a good point.
Very good call.
I mean, I was thinking to myself earlier, oh, hang on a second, Broken Blades.
Manages to get onto Gumiyushi, who has the cleanse, who has the flash, and has the chain of corruption, but it's blocked by the wind wall. G2 investing the TP here as Mickey falls to a piercing arrow, and Carrier finds the double knock-up. Yike trying to do everything he can as Caps is forced away with the exhaust. Zeus logs in the gold card. Hansama has to cleanse. And there goes Ona pushing forward once again. The Destiny onto the back line as Yike now locked up, shut down by Faker. Hansama next on the menu as the dive forward continues for T1. It's beautiful.
Building towards that Leandris, but between the on-hit Callista as well as a fed Lilia, there is a lot of power as Broken Blade.
One more down, gold card out, Carrier goes back in, chain of corruption for the follow-up, Mickey looking for the Magna Storm, Caps dives into the backline, Broken Blade with the last breath, as Zeus tries to flash away, he kills Broken Blade, Caps gets one, but Gumiyushi puts him in his place. Sent to the 7 hells as G2 lose 2. T1 have lost 1, only Zeus.
Means that both Caps and Broken Blade lose their lives.
I don't know why they have to be. Now, for the first time in this game, T1 is sitting on a gold lead. They're going to be able to get a second Drake here as well. Mickey looking for another engage, but there's not a lot of vision.
No vision at all. Yike could try and steal with the swell seed. Mickey's just dead. He's had a struggle on this rel, hasn't really been able to get into the game at all. TP's up to the top lane. Mickey's going to jump the wall, Faker not going to slide forward. No vision in the pit for G2. Carrier flashing, knocked back, locked up with the stun card, the chain of corruption, and Caps is clapped.
Carrier once again. His Alistair is absolutely popping off in this game. He punishes Caps and now the Baron is unlocked for T1.
Tristan, that character with so much built-in safety, you feel safe to just walk towards that unwarded brush, but unfortunately for Caps, Carrier was waiting. They will get a consolation turret on the other end of the map. Doesn't look like they're going to get much more than that. Kind of a sense for when to start these Barons, but how they utilize them to pressure side lanes, how they utilize them to set up the map as Caps.
Gold card once again, Caps exhausted, trying to trade with Zeus, no flash for him. Guma and Ono on the chase, dash forward with the audacious charge, chain of corruption, and Caps is sent packing. 2-5.
Timeout, looking to play towards this. Oh, they try to cop some Faker.
Just to kill Faker. It's been said so many times. The flash from Faker immediately pops the stopwatch. Gumayushi here for the chase, chain of corruption blocked with the wind wall, and Faker will fall, but Mickey almost follows. Face call gets him out. Owner, Carrier, Gumayushi and Zeus on the chase forward. Gold guard locked again. Carrier gets a double knock of the Caps. Able to buffer out of it. Carrier on the backline. Kills off Mickey. Yike trying to do everything he can. Broken Blade low. Buster shot into the engage with the last breath, but it's Broken Blade who has lost the breath from his lungs. Yike looking for more. Owner low. Gumayushi and Zeus very healthy though, and Hans Summer.
About his Zeus might be overextended here. The TP.
Gumayushi is there. Chain of corruption about to come back off cooldown. Caps jumps onto Zeus. Locked up with the gold card once again. Counter TP as Caps look for the play, but T1 answer with a fist of their own. Caps down again. Faker TP's in, and you have to think that might just be it for G2.
I just look.
They're going to be on the inhibitor tower very shortly. Broken Blade and Mickey trying to defend, but it's the Nexus turrets that they will be defending. I think T1 just want the inhib. Get the Drake, get yourself on soul point, take anything.
And but Gumayushi's 0 deaths. His positioning has been flawless in these fights. As desperately as G2 has tried to get onto the backline, he has really been in no danger.
Bounty on his head.
Yep.
You know he's involved. He's involved in some nefarious business, okay?
Him and Graves looking shady.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Magnus Storm in as immediately they dive in. Baker puts the Emperor's Divide down, but G2 from the darkness found something. Zeus with the blast cone out. Will G2 overextend Faker? He's 20 seconds away. Gold card locked once again as Mickey down to half HP. Only has that Trailblazer in terms of completed items. G2 might just call for the flip here. Go for the 50-50. You're so far down in the hole anyway. 5,000 gold behind T1. Destiny out. Carrier getting forced away by Caps. G2 still on the Baron. Chain of corruption just goes wide. Mickey locked up with a gold card once again. The Baron down to 2,000. Zeus takes one, but Yike gets the Baron. Carrier with a 3-man knockup. Owner with the Crescent Guard. Stopwatch coming out as G2 just try and get out of the fight, but they might look for more. Yike has the lilting lullaby. Only locks up Owner. Hansama dancing and ducking and weaving his way around the pit, but he just can't get away. Gold card locked again as Yike's day will be ended. The Baron for what? Perhaps
Left to defend. I don't know if the Baron buff is going to be enough to keep G2 alive in this game.
it would be a miracle to end all miracles as Caps is just demolished. Broken Blade there in time with the wind wall. The Baron up minions helping out G2 a little bit here as T1 start the siege. Carrier down to half HP, Unbreakable Will almost back up for him. The first Nexus tower falling lower. They're trying to get both at the same time. They take one. Mickey goes for the engage, last breath, but it's only onto Zeus. The Magnus Storm not going to do too much. And it looks like it's all over for G2 in game one. Owner playing with his food a little bit as Broken Blade's locked up. Caps trying to get the damage down, but Hans Summer's next on the menu as T1 clean up G2. And it's T1 G.
Gonna run into very similar problems of if you can't get onto the backline, T1 are gonna run away with these fights.
Yeah, it's also, as you already mentioned, Hansam in the last game, it was really hard for him to get in effective range. This time around, he's also...
Tanglebob's going to hit onto him. Gumayushi chasing in Mickey, already down to half HP. The chase continues from T1 as Owner joins the battle. Hans Summer with the rend on Guma, trying to get the slow down. Owner still chasing forward. Mickey, no flash. Tanglebob, Spectral Maw, Carrier on the board.
You jungler!
Great vision control from T1, spots the roam from Mickey.
Carrier coming in from the side, Owner joining in as well. Yike looking for the damage. Mickey just walking straight forward here. Baker still holding on to the seismic shove, and Mickey is locked up with it. Mickey rooted with the tangle barbs, and he walked right into his own death. When Baker comes knocking, you do not answer that.
Even if it is forces to cancel.
All of Portugal coming down as well. Broken Blade still has the passive, looking for the brittle. Zeus flashed forward, but the unstable matter for Broken Blade is enough to heal him back up. Zeus Burned his flash, burned his old and broken blade.
I'm kind of surprised. Now the bot lane dive for Ona.
There he is, stepping forward. There's the Weaver's wall in by Faker as well. Mickey does have the flash back up, looking for the stun, but can't find it in time. Ona possesses him. And underneath the tower, he is fine as a rose.
Looking to try and push in this wave so that he can at least get something back, but T1 with fantastic bot lane control. Yike is forced to cover.
Good reaction flash from Gume Yushi. Could see it coming.
How that fight goes, the early ones will determine a lot in the outcome of this game.
I think the game might boil down to the fact that G2 are pushing forward here in the Pop Blossom. Will find Mickey. Tangle Barbs for this follow-up. There's the Spectrum more. Call of the Fortune coming out as Mickey tries to turn it back around. The shockwave possibility from Caps. But Mickey already falling low as Ona possesses his body. A three-man shockwave into the dive forward. Is it enough for G2? Broken Blade fighting Faker in the bottom lane. It's a one-for-one trade on the top side. Faker Weaver's walls his way out.
He can't use it to cheat towards the skirmish. Might get caught here.
Faker does have his flash, but he's knocked up, locked up, and shut out of the fight by Yike. Well played by G2. Cap sneaking into that bush meant that the collapse could happen from Yike.
And kind of use this pressure to then start moving into T1 side of the map.
T1 is just dropping here. A lot of that, or rather, is just letting the turret go. Zeus is there now, but the turret is going to get taken out nonetheless. And
Actually being able to deal damage in the fights. But when we think back to the regular season of G2 playing, when Broken Blade was on... Oh, hang on a second. Carrier's been spotted here.
Yike looking for him, goes forward, Carrier flashes away, Drake secured. Broken Blade diving onto the backline. It's only Carrier for now. There's the Pop Blossom. TP's behind. As Carrier will fall first, the TP behind from T1. Not going to look for any more of a collapse. Faker just investing there. G2 can continue to press in. Broken Blade, channel the E, doesn't go for it. Faker forced off towards the top side.
Where T1 maybe could have taken a tempo advantage, but G2 immediately move up towards top. They still have Hans Summer clear out mid. Bot is still pushing in their favor, and they're still going to look to try and contest this Herald.
Arrowed path in by Ona. Could just look for the smite. Standing still. Not going to be seen by the tremor sense from Yike. Hans Summer dashes towards him. I have that exclamation mark above his head showing that Ona is closest. Guma, oh, beautiful footwork.
Amount of value. So I can imagine if G2 still feel the need to play a little bit aggressive.
Does still have the flash. Mickey's on his way here. Flash away, but the Heartbreaker breaks the hearts of Europe. Yike's still on the chase though. Ona has no flash. Broken Blade coming in from the side. Let's bounce, baby! Faker locked up. Ona sent packing. G2 get two.
I don't think the game plan was for Caps to die, but G2 make it work. 2 for 1. Gumayushi and Carrier, they're shifting.
Mickey looking for Faker here. Pops the ultimate, it's actually Carrier, sorry. Massive Pop Blossom. Guma trying to turn it around onto Hans Summer, can't quite get close enough. Another piercing arrow might be enough to get through him as Broken Blade hits the tower. Can't do damage to that one.
Oh, that's
the mid lane tower still stands.
I was really confused then.
Because that is going to be, if T1 ends up winning that and gets soul point, then I think the game becomes incredibly hard to play out for G2.
Shockwave in by Caps as Faker's pulled back. Seraph's there. Yike coming in from across the wall as well. The smite can go in with the Void Rush, but Caps takes the kill. G2 collapses. T1 were looking for...
Use of the wall could be massive here. G2 pushes in mid. The Dragon is started, but it's T1 that have access to the river.
Broken Blade's going for the flank. Let's bounce, about to come back off cooldown. Call of the Porch God for Zeus. Broken Blade sneaks in, seen by Zeus and Carrier. Starts to back away, Dragon down to 4,000. Ona trying to get in for the smite. You have Ren's smite and it's secured by G2. Faker puts the Weaver's wall down and separates Hans Summer and Caps from the team. Broken Blade dives in and might just have to jump out across the wall here. Call of the Force God trying to protect Faker. Mickey falling low, dive in by Ona, but the Fate's Call will pull Mickey to safety. Carrier continues to step in, looks for the Tangle Barbs, can't land.
Last year was around his individual performance, and we rated him very highly coming into this tournament. Hans Summer in some danger.
Hans Summer, no flash, no cleanse. Side steps to the sides. McShelvin. Faker has no flash of his own. TP comes in. Broken Blade going to join the fight. Void rush forward. Faker goes down. And now the Call of the Forge God is more of a prayer sent to the heavens to try and escape. Caps is on the flank. And I've seen a shockwave land here before. Cap steps in. Pop Blossom. What? It's beautiful. But they do not have the damage. The shockwave from Caps finds them all as G2 wipe away T1.
And Guma is going to desperately try to run. He might make the Baron on the board here for G2. The attempt to turn from T1, way too overeager, and G2 punish.
It was initiated by Faker, and as he falls the wall, Guma feels like a very... Oh, hang on a second. Broken Blade.
Onto Faker once again. Faker flashes away. The stretching strike will pull him back, though. And Owner might be the first target as Yikes sinks his teeth into the fight. Faker now forced away. The Weavers will pull back. Broken Blade on this Zac has not given T1 a moment to breathe. 8-0 for Yike and Baron on the cards.
The top jungle duo want to play the game.
It's the mid-jungle 2v2 of T1 that is struggling so much. We see here the bot side, and Zeus trying to maybe contest for a dragon, but there's just no way
it's
that
really
it's ever going to work out.
It's really smart from G2 as well. Hansama and Yike making sure you get the Baron, and then the rest of the team making sure T1 can't just sneak away Soul Point from under your noses. I wonder if G2 will look for a reset off this Baron, or whether, man, Yike's going to reset. Looks like
It secures the Baron and the dragon, and again, like, I don't have time to explain.
Being used. Solar play on the backline as Mickey dives deep here. G2 maybe overextending, but the flash forward from Yike for the double knockup. Slap their heads together. G2 have had enough of this game. Pop Blossom comes out. The Cap's still very healthy on the backline. Broken Blade still has his passive. Another stretching strike on Owner as Hansama begins to dance on him. Stunned up for the second. Faker able to kill off Hansama. G2 maybe a tiny bit greedy because Faker puts the Weaver's wall down. Broken Blade dashing in, locked up with the Unraveled Earth. G2 could overstep here. Instead, they retreat. They still have the Baron for a minute.
Pushing in the top side, the TP, not in time. If he was there earlier, maybe could have made a difference. Not going to be the case, and we'll see what T1 can do on the cross map. But now, almost 10k gold behind G2.
Cap's going to take a bit of a chunk here. Owner, though, can you answer the power of Broken Blade Heartbreaker across into the Blast Cone? The chase from Yike. The Blast Cone and Broken Blade reads Owner like a book. Mickey comes in from the side. There's the stun. Broken Blade slaps him around the head.
Bot lane Inip is still standing, and Talia is always a little bit scary to dive, but you gotta imagine they gotta try and push for the end here.
Weaver's wall down, Cap's isolated. G2 still pushing 4 strong through the mid lane. Seismic shove going wide there. It's Faker flashing forward, and he's met with a spear through his heart. G2 find another How Long Throna, 17 seconds, 5v3 now. G2 might just go double in hit base. Could be a little greedy, and they've often been in the LEC. We'll see if it continues on the international stage. Carry up, trying to get in with that Blossom. No flash for him. First Nexus tower down. Finds Cap. Call of the Forge God coming down as well, but the stopwatch will buy a second for the G2 mid laner. And Onu is just deleted by Hansama on the backline. Guma next up. He will escape to the safety of the fountain, but that's where he'll watch his Nexus fall as G2 even out the series at 1-1. To Golden Maiden, you have the follow-up with the Falling Sky, you have a gold card, you have Cataclysm, you have a lot of circles, okay?
I do love me a circle call.
If T1 circles manage to kill G2 before one more minion, there we are. Zeus locks in the gold card, Wind Wall comes out. Ono will wait, Mickey engaging in the bottom lane as Guma almost stunned against the wall, but not quite. Guma gets first blood, and Hansama stunned! Or 2 for 1 in favor of T1.
Meanwhile, on top side, Broken Blade is able to survive the gank. Zeus was forced to flash. We'll see if Owner continues. This is such a big wave.
Broken Blade survives! Gets the wave under the... Some time to pop it.
Instead, though, they do take a big gamble, and these type of lanes, double Halo Blades, do thrive on finding early leads. Now, when we look at the farm, it wasn't that bad of a trade.
Astro fly forward by Faker.
Faker!
Caps just needs the autos! Faker! Just taken out by... Coming across from the side as well, has the skies descend.
As a result,
Mickey's on his way. This could be the ball game right here. Faker goes in. Who tanks first? Already we see Hansama falling. Yike with a flash. Faker tanks a tower shot, but T1 able to get out. Caps looking for the flank. Has the shockwave, but no flash. Owner tanking on the front line as Mickey and Yike continue to collapse. Can Caps find Faker? Not today! Faker escapes. Guma falling low. The ignite not enough to take him, but the command attack will send him to an early grave.
Oh my goodness, it's only 3-3 and kill. Game 1.
And he goes.
Breath in. Zeus locks the gold card. Broken Blade just trading there. Not too much more going to happen.
And this time around, we do have
Ghost is used.
Cease and desist in the mid lane. Good skies descend, though the shockwave. Faker dodges it, but Mickey's here. Faker no flash, and Mickey slams him into the wall. G2 collapse in mid to find another kill.
All right, Caps. His accuracy on the shockwave's not the highest this game, but it doesn't matter because G2 still converted into a kill. Carrier on
vision.
a ward.
Mike's coming across. Carry on a ward, flash forward, chain of corruption. The lock up on Guma, and there's nothing he can do to escape. The chase continues. Carrier doesn't have a flash. Can he hookshot? Can he wall dive? Or will he just die? Well on his way towards that. You only keep scaling up quicker.
Carrier.
Game goes on. Carrier locked against the wall. Yike. Here for the chase. Will they use the cease and desist? Ona goes back in. TP flash away with the Cataclysm. Keeper's birdied out by Mickey. Hansama now collapsing. Face cool. Guma locked up. The shockwave. Yike going back in onto Guma Yushi. Hansama has Carrier on his base and he might get taken out by the falling star. Carrier trying to put the damage down, but it's two kills. Hansama. Oh, he thought he was gorgeous and he was! He flashes into a bush where there's a sentinel, so Carrier sees him, but Hansama doesn't give a damn and puts him in his place. 1,000, 2,000 gold behind. Dragon being taken by G2. It will be 2 Drakes to 0 in their favor.
Now, expectations coming into this series were that T1 would be the heavy favorites. We've seen the number of predictions, and of course, this series is not over yet, and by no means is G2 in a convincing position where this game is secured for them.
Years ago, is the chain of corruption going wide from Hansama? The Destiny's going to come in, and there's no way for Hansama to escape it.
He's so dead.
So dead. As Hansama oversteps a little bit. Mickey looking for the Hex Flash across the wall. TP in. Hex Flash can sword. Mickey trying to get away from the gold card, which was locked in by Zeus. Cataclysm into the Keeper's Verdict. Only hits onto Zeus. Guma still chasing. The collapse coming in, but yike.
You would have. Yeah.
I don't think that was a necessity. There is going to be a gold influx here for T1. My main issue, again, is going to be how are these team fights going to play out when the Orianna is this fed of. If you are G2, don't overextend as Guma.
Oh, all the way onto Guma, the flash away, steadfast presence. Mickey can't find the stun, and Guma will be able to get the blast cone in time. Yike! Misses the Bolt Breaker, and now he's on the wrong side of dodge. Flashes away, Cataclysm, Shockwave dodge with the Hexagon ultimatum, and Yike locked up and shut out by T1.
Overcommitment.
Because there's so much damage as Mickey.
Guma has no flash, Guma has no flash and no Edge of Night. Destiny out, smart play by Zeus to spot. The fact that Mickey was flanking, Carrier going in with the Hexagon ultimatum, knocked back with a hammer shot, the Cataclysm. Cap's still stunned up, and Mickey's already killed off Zeus. Cap's down, the shutdown goes to Guma. Mickey trying to put the hammer snap into the last breath, and T1 maybe breathed that last in this game. G2 find 2, and Guma and Carrier walk away wounded.
Broken Blade arrives to the fight, and they make the combo happen. Yike and Broken Blade lock down Faker and Guma, and with the Baron alive, G2 are going to secure it.
T1 seem to be on the same page. We got to kill Caps, we got to kill Caps, but you can't dive that deep. They are going to give up the Baron, might get at least a mid lane turret for it, but not the trade that you're looking for. G2.
But look at this combo here from Yike. Broken Blade is in range, the comms come through, Faker gets knocked up, Ona gets knocked.
Coming into this MSI as weaker than, not than it's ever been, but definitely in a weaker state than we expected them to be.
Do gotta say though, the Rebel Baron power play does for not getting too much. If you only end up getting a mid lane turret out of it, it is nice, but by itself, not enough. And I think this is where the Baron itself is going to give a decent amount of gold. But outside of the Soul Point, which is valuable, Ocean Soul obviously not going to be your preferred Drake of choice.
Importantly for G2, Camps didn't build.
Should prove helpful.
Carrier, no hookshot wall dive. Stun card locked onto Yike. Singularity going down, Broken Blade dashing forward. The threat of the Steel Tempest lands that Q3, no last breath to follow up. Another tower goes down, Carrier.
For the next team fight.
Broken Blade puts the wind wall down, Hexagon ultimatum coming out as well as Carrier dives onto the backline. Broken Blade down to half HP. Ona dashing forward, and Mickey finds Faker. The chain of corruption follow up. The shockwave. Faker falls. Yike able to survive as well. Locked up underneath the tower. He'll die. 2 for 1 so far in the exchanges. Zeus is able to walk down towards the bottom side. Kite away. G2 continue to push in for the tier 2 in the mid lane.
Broken Blade. He's looking for more. They'll just take the tower. Wow. And
still being unthreatened because everything was used trying to kill this Yasuo. It's, by the way, didn't flash, didn't die.
Carrier into the wall, Hansama there for the follow-up, just looking to chunk Carrier out!
Whoa!
Well, that's a hell of a chunk from G2. The chain of corruption landing as well, as Zeus going to try and lock in the gold card to stop Hansama from the chase, but Yike is here, and Zeus is not long for the rift. G2 find another 2 with Drake up in a minute's time. T1 would be walking into Fog, the standard, their only bit of vision. 1 ward now in the river. Faker needs to find a Sky's Descent, but he doesn't have the upgraded ultimate as Ona looks for the flank vision on him. Ona just wants to get in here, now out of vision. Last breath going in, it's secured by Yike. No damage between the 2 teams really as G2 just get the Drake and get out, but Yike is overstepping. Cease and desist on the backline into the last breath, into the shockwave. Faker is yeeted the hell out of the fight, and even in the base core might not be enough to save Carrier. Owner down, Guma down,
That's it.
T1 down, and G2 on the brink of taking a lead versus T1.
T1 again, they try to force again. Tam Jag won't find him, but I don't think it's going to make a difference.
G2 is looking to end the game right here. Sub 30 minutes. G2 have torn T1 apart.
He's got the wave, though. This is really smart. Carrier catches it. The cannon minion dies, and there's only one minion left alive. G2 unable to advance. Intelligent stuff from the T1 support.
Can't clear though. This is not your normal Camille. No Ravenous Hydra available. Lots of gold lead. Going to pick up the Baron and look for the end on the next push.
G2 continue to defy expectations with the Baron locked in. This looks like G2's game to lose. Underestimated at every turn. They have taken the fight to T1, and this should be the last-ditch effort from T1.
No flash for Owner, but the Cataclysm, Mickey locks him up. Owner shut out! And G2 did everything they needed to make sure there was no steal happening as the flash shockwave on Faker takes him down to half. Mickey with a slam into the wall, and Guma's hopes of winning this game are being slammed in his face. G2 almost clean acing T1. Guma dies, there it is, a clean ace for G2.
5 alive for G2, 5 dead on the side of T1, and with this, G2 will go to match point.
The last Nexus tower, merely a blip on the radar for G2. It is G2 T1.
Swaps in the playoffs, coming to MSI, everyone's doing lane swaps, and then G2's like, no, we're over that.
That's subverting expectations. It's what G2 do so well with it.
I mean, that,
maybe extrapolating that a little.
It's one of
the cooldown left on his flash, but he can just dash across the wall. Grub's taken by Owner. Caps no shockwave, remember? We saw it burnt a moment ago. Yike. Hits a Void Seeker, but Caps is down to 150 HP.
Super.
Poppy game notwithstanding, they've been able to excel.
I mean, Faker's looking much more comfortable now.
All these tunnels. I love Rek'Sai.
Carrier, level 6. Mickey very far behind in terms of XP. All the other objectives are going T1 to 8. G2's on.
Is taking the 5th, 6th Grub for T1. And they also got the first straight. Neutral control very much in T1's favor in this game so far.
Oh, completely. And you can see advantages gained in mid.
Anyway, doesn't really matter whether he goes to his turret or the tunnel. We do see Carrier.
Tempered Fate, Capside steps, Cosmic Binding, Capside steps that too. Magical Journey in by Carrier. It feels like one of those, I missed everything, you have a go, Owner. And Owner decides against
I'm
going
just like,
forward.
I'm good. Let me
Summer
be.
though, down to half HP. Faker does have the flank position here. No Emperor's Divide, remember, as Owner goes in. Crescent Guard flash away from the Chain of Corruption. Immediately Yike and Caps try to dive onto Faker, but Hans Summer's already fallen. Hostile takeover lands on 2 First Blood. Goes over to T1. They find a second.
Binding!
The Cosmic Binding from Carrier is just sublime. And now Caps knocked up, tries to flash, but there's no way he's getting away from Owner today. Or is he? As he continues to walk away, has to dodge, the wind becomes lightning. Owner gonna tank the tower. Audacious charge is enough as Yike falls as well. It's 4-1 T1.
And just like that, T1 blow the game open.
Opportunity knocking for Gumayushi.
Oh yeah.
The lethality already with that serrated Dirk as well. And now G2 very much in a hole. T1, this is kind of more of what we expected from them in this series. Getting out to an early lead, 4,000 gold their advantage. And the question for G2 is how
Broken Blade not only able to nearly have as much of an impact when it comes to setting up for these objectives, as he needs to match one of T1's solo laners in a side lane. We're looking at bounties on the board already here, and this slower pace, seemingly T1, at least for now, benefiting the most. And even though Faker did take a death there, I think we are seeing him, as you actually we talked about this a little bit coming into the day, that Faker's champion pool, and it's so obviously his champion pool is as wide as League goes, but oh, hold up.
Corruption hits. Hostile takeover is going to be popped. Gumayushi's going to be caught in the back of it. Broken Blade with a flank position. Yike with a double knockup, but Caps not quite here yet for G2. The Tempered Fate buys a second. Carrier's going to be the first of all as G2 continue the battle. Faker in with the Emperor's Divide, but Faker low. Zeus on that front line though can tank for days. Broken Blade can't quite land the stun into the wall, but the shockwave. Pathmaker out. Zeus survives. Living Artillery just short. From G2, they find one, only Carrier falls.
Okay, so G2 actually win a fight there. The TP from Faker doesn't really result in much, and it opens up this mid tower. Some bounty gold will go back to G2 as they show it.
Getting him in a better position could have been big as Guma.
Gumayushi, no summoners on him. Chain of Corruption goes wide, and Guma's just down. Caps TPing behind as well. Drake up in a minute.
Himself overextended in mid lane and is collapsed on by G2. Crucially, they give that shutdown over to Hans.
Baker going in. Titanic Hydra, not enough. The shockwave onto Baker. Yike dashing away, but Ona's here and will happily accept that kill. Carrier with another Cosmic Binding. Hansama trying to close in from the side, but he knows that Ona's on his way. Caps falling low, but will manage to fight another day.
And just like that,
still 4K in favor, and the Hextech Soul specifically is one that I don't think you can afford to give soul points to. Zeus alone here.
Doesn't have the Ghost, has the Pathmaker. Steadfast Presence locked him up for a second. Broken Blade chasing in, Void Rush, Caps collapsing, Ona's on his way, but can Zeus survive for long enough? The all-out might not be enough as Caps lands a shockwave on 2, and now Ona with a bounty on his head in the middle of 3 members of G2. Caps flashes out of vision, and Ona has to flash away. Collapsing though, T1 come in. Guma Yushi there first. Jike dashes away from the chain of corruption. Ona falling low, but the piercing arrow from Guma Yushi never misses its mark. T1 find another.
Guma does it. Ona not dying could have, or rather Ona dying could have been a turning point. Zaze goes down. Now the question becomes, does T1 still get their way with this dragon? Setting up soul point here would be huge, and there was a lot invested to the top side by G2.
Baker secures a tower in the bot lane and gets
Side and not having a teleport available just yet, they are just going to give up the soul point. I understand for G2, but T1 going to be very happy about that.
G2 in the hole right now. 2 items on Ona, 2 ahead in terms of gold. He's just got Piecemeal, Seeker's Arm Guard, and the Void Staff on its way. Crypt Bloom complete for Caps. We'll be trying to get towards that Rabadons, but right now, T1 in the ascendancy, looking to take us to 5 games again.
Yeah, it's a throwaway, Harold. Gets a charge. Yeah, good enough.
They get what they wanted.
Making scene here.
TP
behind. Hansama has 2 items. Yike goes in. They look for Ona first. Crescent Guard pop by
flash.
him. Broken Blade might go for Guma. Can knock him into the wall. Carrier though is going to spot him. Steadfast Presence going down as the Sundisk is used. Flash from Mickey with a hostile takeover, but it only lands onto the Azir. Yike trying to do what he can in the middle of the fight. His owner's already down to half HP, but Yike and Mickey and G2 have to retreat because gold from Carrier. The shockwave only lands on 1. It's Ona, not the target that G2 wanted. And Baker has had enough. He slides G2 into the waiting maws of his team as T1 look to take us to match points.
Oh, this is the classic T1. You think you're fine? The geometry of that fight with the Bard, the TPs, but in the end, at the very least, they're going to get the inhib, but knowing them, I'm feeling it, they're going to try and bring us to back-to-back silver scrapes.
There is something inevitable about Baker. There is something indomitable about T1. Mickey comes up alive, 8 seconds on Hansama. No minion wave here for T1, but they have the might to try and help out. The wave about 5 seconds away. Hansama will respawn in time. T1 take the gate out and have a little patience.
They were so close. Members remain alive. And the fight was so disconnected. G2's Hansama was nowhere to be found. He couldn't land the damage. The shockwave was barely impactful. Caps? He completely whiffs the shockwave. Doesn't even send the ball over. Another to add to the list of Caps away at this tower.
There have been 9 5-game series in MSI history. We might get 2 in a row. In fact, I think it's pretty much certain now as T1 push in for the top lane inhibitor. G2 have half a Nexus tower to try and defend. Broken Blade, Steadfast Presence will stop Ona's engage. Guma Yushi down to half HP. Zeus pulled back with a handshake, but he's tanky enough. G2 looking for any last vestige of hope. Sending up prayers, looking for a miracle. Broken Blade finds one perhaps as Ona's locked up. He flashes the wall. All they're going to do is buy a little time here. But time is swiftly running out. Kronos himself is playing for T1, and Baker goes in again. Stopwatches the tempered fate from Carrier. In fact, the Serema slide was not enough. The shockwave from G2 will do nothing as T1 assert their dominance on the series and take us to silver scrapes.
T1 better blow up this game in the first 10 to 15 minutes, and even with the lane swap, the onus is going to be on them to find huge early leads. Because otherwise, if you look
map from G2, so they've matched with 5 people. Zeus being here as well means that it is a very awkward situation. Level 2 trying to be secured by Owner on the Wolves.
And Yike's going to try and stop him from doing it, but He's stepping further forward here. Stun from Mickey. Carrier tries to flash away. The Ignite is ticking, but they just don't have the damage to take him out. Yike now trying to escape, but the Pathmaker locks him up against the wall. He has to flash. Owner gets 2.
Elveth is hovering as well. Yike needs... There it is. Level 3 secured for Yike. How suspicious will T1 be? They're skeptical.
Sentinel out. Hex Splash into the wall. Goober down. Mickey takes it.
First blood for Mickey.
Wave, Broken Blade does have his flash. Zeus splashed away from the Sonic Wave there. Broken Blade able to survive, but now in a much more precarious situation in the top lane.
Wave in a bit of an awkward spot, but it should get fixed. Caps and Faker just trading back and forth. Faker with a small CS advantage. Broken Blade is going to be a kill!
Zeus dashes away, has popped the Ghost. Charm in the mid lane though, as Owner's on the board.
The 2v2 of this Ari Lee is going to have to be the thing that...
Further, Broken Blade looking for Gumayushi. Flash heal still available for the T180 carry. Carrier here to bolster his defenses as the let's bounce from Broken Blade. Just chunks out Gumayushi, doesn't get a summoner. Zeus, now a target. Pathmaker's forward, gets the stun into a hammer shock against the wall, and Hansama is on the board.
It's the Poppy again! Locks him down! Mickey denied.
Bottom lane, Super Mega Death Rocket coming out here as well.
Just to interrupt the backs.
Just stop the backs. Carrier doesn't get to recall.
Oh my god, absolutely brilliant. It's going to delay them so much. Cassante making a beeline back.
It's Maguma and Carrier.
T1 do start up the Dragon here. Does look like that is going to go over. No Sums is absolutely huge with the amount of dive that's available for G2. Trying to stay alive against Talia, against Belvev, against Zach. Going to be so much harder. One of the really big things is with this continuous swaps, so getting to an objective first, trying to force your opponent to then play into you, and then take them down with your spirit.
Oh, this is beautiful from Zeus. Gets the all out, but Broken Blade with the less bounce can just heal up from that volatile matter. Elastic slingshot out. It's an ultimate for an ultimate. Zeus popped the Ghost as well. Mickey looking for Guma, no flash. Chain of Corruption into the zap. He's dead, says Chronicler, and G2 agree.
That is Gumayushi is crumbling under the pressure of Mickey's Poppy, and they're going to look to take another shot at the pillar.
Steadfast presence knocked into the wall, and down goes Carrier.
A killing spree.
Yike needs to be careful though, because Faker and Ono on the collapse. Broken Blade in the top lane. Spirit rush forward. Faker looking for the charm. Yike tries to dodge away, but he doesn't have another dash. There's the charm. Ona gets his second.
This is the saving grace for T1, Faker and Ona. This mid-jungle duo, you mentioned it earlier, Chronicler. If they can keep finding these skirmishes, there is an angle back into this game.
That said, they're still going to have to find a way to reliably get on top of Hans, which exercise some caution.
Not just a Weaver's Wall into Guma dying here. Cap stepping forward, Weaver's Wall not used, Seismic shove enough. Bates call will pull out Gumayushi. Mickey's running up towards the rest of T1. A kill over to T1, good reaction.
G2 getting a little predictable there.
Baker going in with the Spear Rush,
Nice
charm.
charm.
Hansama cleanses it, Ona looking for the Sonic Wave. Hansama does have the flash, but away from the Tempest Cripple, Dragon's Rage, Sonic Wave, Chaos flashes away as well, as Ona's taken down to half HP, and T1 are looking for more. They can see blood in the water. Sonic Wave just wide from Ona.
Composition already so reliant on getting early leads. If G2 get the Herald, one big punish tool is taken away as Caps.
Ona going in, safeguards forward, dodges the seismic shove, misses the Sonic Wave, and Caps just dances away from everything in mid lane. Tower going down in the top lane. Rift Herald started, I think, by Mickey.
Awareness from Caps. He was so suspicious after seeing Ona in the river. Remember that Caps earlier used the ultimate to lock off Gumayushi and Carrier from escape, but once his TP came through, he also gained information on Ona in the river, and he was afraid of a potential. They secured the Herald, and while conceding the Dragon, they continue to funnel more gold into Hansama.
One of the biggest pieces of criticism that was there for T1, particularly in, say, 2022, was the way that their drops would very often go towards what they like without taking into...
Ready for Mickey to go for this play.
Hans can't give it away, though.
Looking for vision. Mickey steps forward. The auto's going to chase him. Look at the buckler go. It's zooming.
Sync it up. Only took us 5 games.
Hansama gonna secure another tower.
So synced that we say exactly the same thing. Dodge over those walls. Ona looking for Caps. Caps gonna base check, safeguard, knock back, Sonic Wave, seismic shove, dodged. Caps trying to get back to Hansama, and he'll do it. Yike! The body block from him. Caps eye dashes away, but the Foxfire chases him. Ona looking for more as Yike Tries to escape Chain of Corruption on Hansama. He cleanses away from it. Once again, it's Caps getting caught. That gives T1 a little bit of road for them. For T1, international best of fives are their kryptonite.
It's the game 5, right?
Yeah.
Like, yes, against KT.
The pressure is on. Broken Blade has joined the fight. Dragon, 54 seconds.
Oh, Yike's going to ride this one away. Dashes across. Owner knocked into the wall. Wow! The shot. The elastic shot charged away, but the hits the TP in by Caps. T1 trying to retreat because already they have lost. Owner stretching, strike into the all-out. Broken Blade pulled across the wall. Here, the last thing shot out with the spear rush. Baker, he finds Hansama, and every time you count him out, Baker is there to find the fight. TP behind now by Baker. Mickey and Yike trying to run away. Another charm onto Caps. Baker no spirit rush, no flash, but Caps has no HP left.
Faker is him, and he continues to prove why. An incredible pick onto Hansama, converts into a TP flank, and they're not done just yet.
Oh, big thing here, though, is that right now they're not able to allow them to go for Baron. I think they will end up dying, but denying the Baron from T1 is still big.
Broken Blade survived for a very long time here, goes back in. Faker! Not quite able to do it. Faker and Carrier do their due diligence and back away in a safe spot.
You just can't underestimate this man. In what looked like a one-sided fight for G2, they were going to get so far. And this game is delivering.
Gumayushi has the edge of night. Chain of Corruption already used. Weaver's wall in by Caps. Guma flashes. Yike with the knock-up seismic shot. Bates call out. TP in now by T1 as they look to take the fight. Zeus locked up for a moment and Yike is deleted. Owner found the flag, but now he'll fall. Zeus on the backline onto Hansama. Flash away. Mickey's trying to body block, but Zeus goes all out. Just this once. Baker dives into the backline. Caps next up for Zeus. And Baker's on a rampage. Caps just can't get through Zeus. He is not bad enough. And the flash away from Caps buys him a second, but that's all it's going to be. You can't buy class, and Baker's here to fight.
And of all people, the calculate. Thought that they had the immobile AD carry. Wasn't enough of Zeus. Is he going to be in trouble?
I don't think so. I think Mickey's just being a nuisance more than...
Broken Blade on this Zac. The flip side is also true. If Hans dies...
Mickey locked up, and Mickey is down. Broken Blade's going to elastic slingshot out, but immediately pings to Baron. Spirit Rush charges as T1 continue to chip away at the Baron. It's down to 6,000. Spirit Rush forward, Charm. Zeus on that front line. Yike having to dash away. Broken Blade locked up and Tofu's back. Zeus down to half HP. Faker no Spirit Rush left. The Baron's still low as Owner's looking to smite it. He'll get it. But will Zeus fallen when the resets happen for G2? Onto the backline goes Mickey. Carrier's almost taking him out, but Carrier almost falls himself. Owner dives in. Hansama just needs one to really open up. Owner goes down. G2 have lost 2 already though, and Zeus can dash back in. Hansama, only the cleanse, no flash. Can G2 do it from here? Cell division in by Broken Blade. The Baron already secured by T1, but G2 do not want them to get out without a fight. Weaver's wall forward. Baker low on mana. Chain of Corruption, Edge of Night popped. Gumayushi almost falling, but is able to dodge away from the seismic shove. And T1 are on the wrong side of the map right now. Any TPs up, no one up for 30 seconds. Elastic slingshot forward, and Carrier will pull him out with a Fate's call, but Carrier's down now. Guma next up for Broken Blade, who flashes away from the Pierce to go, and Guma goes down. Baker, no mana left on him. The TP behind as G2 begins to collapse. Baker, how the hell do you get out of this one? I don't think you do. Gets some mana, he escapes the honey fruit, but T1 gets Baker out alive.
And the man just walks it off, but G2 still.
The wall, G2 secured the Scuttle Crab. Baker on his way. Has a flash of his own, flash charm, a possibility. Broken Blade takes the blast cone. Zeus trying to beat that front line for Owner. Baker flanking. G2 unaware, but the Dragon secured by G2 now. Will they go for more? They've been greedy a couple of times. They strike back, and Baker's locked against the wall! And Baker is down, buried beneath the earth. Can G2 find more? Hansama stepping forward, but look how Yike is. T1 can still turn this fight back on its head. Zeus no flash, obviously he's running the ghost, but he does have Q3 right now as it landed onto Caps. Zeus going in, knocked back. Mickey dashes into the wall as Owner's locked up. Hansama dodging away from the Sonic Wave, and can he really open up? Not quite. Broken Blade's going to go into the Cell Division. The seismic shove just short. Broken Blade likely to fall here. Yike was trying to heal himself back up, but Broken Blade goes down. Another Q from Zeus. He finds his mark, and T1 march down the mid lane.
As T1, Faker is about up. Yeah, they'll get a Camtech Drake, but that's not what you're going to be looking towards. Carrier, he's harassing Faker is there.
Faker goes in, there's the charm, cleansed away by Hans Summer. The charm actually came out second! Even I was deceived as Hans Summer was. Faker showing exactly why he is the GOAT.
The Baron. The wave clear is still there from Caps.
Only one minion here, the next wave on its way, about 5 seconds away. Carrier dashing forward. Gumayushi has that lethality, but Mana Moon alongside it. Weaver's Wall will stop the minion wave. 20 seconds on Hansama. T1 can still push in. The minions, they're having a little trip going to see the Pandas, but they'll make their way out of the jungle and make their march down the mid lane. Hansama still 10 seconds away. T1 maybe just go for the inhibitor, but maybe even more. Can sense blood in the water, can close out, and now use that pressure. Push in the bot lane. They don't need the inhibs yet. The Weaver's Wall coming out. Carrier on the wrong side of it, but he's got the flash. Chain of Corruption going wide as T1 look to make their final advance into the base of G2. Zeus keeping Broken Blade at bay. Yike looking for an engage. Super Mega Death Rocket hits onto Gumayushi, who does have flash. Carrier, remember, has just burnt his. Faker no flash either, but he's got that Banshee's Veil. He's got that veil of safety that G2 have been unable to penetrate. Now the inhibitor in the mid lane, T1's target. And G2 just can't get in. Zeus dashes forward, but that's double inhib to T1.
Oh, and double inhib. That's Soul. 41 is Mickey!
Mickey charmed up! Mickey put in the dirt, 6 feet under. Maybe short to be followed by G2. The seismic shot on owner, but the Chain of Corruption lands onto Caps. And a stopwatch can only buy you a second to stop and watch your team be ruined by T1. This far and no further. This close and no closer. For G2, this was the day they almost beat T1. For T1, it's just another Friday.
These were some of the best highlights from the MSI 2024 Knockouts matchup between T1 and G2. Which moment was your favorite? Let us know in the comments below.